Welcome once again, my friends, to the party time that never ends. It is the Charlotte Soccer Show, and yeah, the party didn't even really get started last night, unfortunately. We are coming off of a horrid 3-0 loss at home to Minnesota United. Without a doubt, the worst night that I've had at the stadium since Atlanta at home last year when we went down 3-0 in the first half. This time, it took a little longer to go down 3 goals, but we did, and we never fought it back. Charlotte FC, 1 shot on goal in the first half came from a center back off of a secondary set piece, and then 0 shots on goal in the second half from anyone. Pathetic, horrible effort, and we're used to hearing old Dino Smith step on the mic after losses at times and say, hey, I thought we were the better team. We just, this happened, that happened, and it kind of went bad for us. But we're hoping he's not going to say that today. We are decoding the presser. It's time. The fortress has been overrun, and let's see what Dino has to say here as we figure it all out. I've not listened to this, but I will pop in as I deem appropriate. I think the look on his face right there says it all, but let's give a listen.
What's the most disappointing about this loss? The fact that we didn't take the most of our opportunities in the first half, where we had enough ball. We never connected in the final third at all, to be honest. And that was a big disappointment because that was where we was on top. I thought they scored a really good goal out of nothing. A ball over the top that we didn't deal with most of the game, to be honest, and a really good finish. But then the biggest thing is the second goal kills the game. He's offside. But, you know, I'll take responsibility for the performance of the players today.
All right, so I need to see a replay on that. I was actually not at a very good angle. I had just gotten back to my seat when that second goal was scored, so I don't know if it was offside or not. And they don't show replays at the stadium, which they should. I don't know why you don't show – you're too good to show replays of opponents' goals. Sometimes we want to see exactly what happened. I think you need to show them on the Jumbotron, please, if you're listening. As for Dino here, yeah, at least he didn't say we should have won. You know, does feel like an excuse to throw out that offside whatever, but, you know. Gives them rightful credit on their first goal, which was really nice. Well played. He's right. We ended up leading possession, I think 57, like 56-44. Might have even been 57-43. And at times in the first half, like he's talking, that first 30 minutes, we had 65% possession. We had the ball. We did nothing with it. It was pathetic. And we keep going.
Early on, it looked like it was going to be Charlotte's day as soon as things connected for the final chance. And then it just kind of left, and even the opportunities weren't there as much as the chance. I mean, saved to the end, and then even Tavares' header wide kind of is the story of the day. Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, when you go away from home and you take the lead, you can just drop off behind the ball then. And they done that, and they wanted to then, you know, draw us on and use the space in behind, and they've done that really well for the second goal. Unfortunately, the lad's offside. It's not given. You know, I've complained already about not having lines and stuff to show that it's offside. We saw one today in an FA Cup semi-final. You know, which is given. This one's clearer. But unfortunately, I think that changed the game. I thought that knocked the stuffing out of us. You know, I don't think Sunday night football is going to catch on, if I'm honest. But, you know, we don't get the numbers, and I understand why in the stadium, and it just felt a little bit flatter than normal. But, you know, we made too many bad decisions today.
Yeah, the weather could have been a big part of it.
Okay, so a little bit there. It feels like excuse making. It really does feel like excuse making there to continue the harp on the offside. Yeah, they did get a second goal, which may or may not have been offside. I'll have to go back and look myself. But then they got a third goal, so I don't know what you're complaining about there. We never had a shot on goal, so it really, you know, knocked the stuffing out of us. Yeah, it did, but let's be honest, we were flat from the get-go. John and I will talk about this on recap show, but, you know, friend of the show, Matt Geslin, was there shooting warm-ups photography-wise, and he texted me, and, you know, an hour before I even got to the stadium saying, man, it's flat and feels weird in here. So I don't think it was just the second goal that killed our efforts. I think the efforts were pretty piss poor from the beginning. Despite, you know, having that possession and whatnot. Sunday Night Football, it's a nice crack, but again, like sometimes you have to play on Sundays. They play Premier League games on Sundays too. I don't know what, you know, it's not like they don't play Premier League games on Sundays. So I don't know where that's coming from either. So I'm feeling the frustration of Dino. We love you, Dino. I was shouting you out during the game. I was yelling, "Hey, Dino!" But this really feels like two excusey answers here, and we'll see. At some point, I'd like to see some credit just given to the tactics Minnesota used, and really felt like their coaching was spot on and their organization was really good. So why ours wasn't, that is really what I would hope gets addressed here in these next couple questions, but who knows?
People not coming in that part, but I mean, the bottom line, they seem to be getting touches. They seem to be quicker to the ball. They were able to wriggle out of spaces when you did have them defend as well. Were they just the better team on the day?
No, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, we give poor goals away. I thought first half.
Yikes. They were by far the better team of the day. I'm not a soccer manager. Dean Smith knows a lot more about the game than I do, but I know what I saw last night for sure.
We were the better team on the ball. We just never connected it in the final third. Goals change games, they always do. And, when they got that second goal and then we've conceded from a set piece as well, he put you on the back foot a little bit. So, my job is now to lift the players because it's, a small step backwards. But, I've got enough belief in this group that they'll come back from it.
I do agree there. There's no need to overreact.
Yeah, Scotty just felt his hamstring right at the end of the warm-up. So, we just couldn't risk it. So, that never helps, obviously. But I'm not going to make an excuse. That wasn't the reason we got beat today.
That's correct. It is nice to hear exactly why Scott sat out because Arfield was named as the starter and then an hour before, and then Brecht ended up starting. Brecht was just as bad as everybody else was out there. That's what I would say.
And then, like you mentioned, like the first half seemed a bit better. The team almost looked a bit more flat in the second half. What were maybe some of the things that you discussed in that halftime that maybe they didn't improve on?
Well, we spoke about better quality in the final third, and I think right at the start of it, Brecht's had a really good opportunity to put the ball in behind for Enzo, and we ended up taking an extra touch and never quite got the ball in behind. And 2 minutes later, they go to the other end and switch play and score a goal. And I think, as I say, goals change games. The second goal, it allows them to defend a little bit deeper and stop spaces in front of them. And we have to go and chase the game. Then put Patrick on and we go 4-4-2 and concede straight from the corner for the set piece.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that maybe subbing right before a corner is a bad move. I think most managers would tell you that. It's that it's not because we subbed that they conceded that third goal in the corner, but Patrick did get out there and run right to the spot where the ball will actually eventually went in. So whatever. I don't know. Let's see. Enzo gets a good ball in behind, takes an extra touch, we lose it, and it turns into a counterattack goal for the other team. Where have we seen that before? Oh, yeah, Cincinnati cost us 2 points, right? So, maybe Enzo's not the dude.
The decision that made you want to start Enzo over Patrick today, right? He seemed frustrated when he came off as well. It was 10 matches for him.
He was frustrated when he came off. He was a little baby.
I thought he started the game last week okay. I thought he deserved that. I thought Patrick showed what he can do by making an impact off the bench, and I felt if we needed Patrick to come and do that, he would. So that was the biggest reason, really. And listen, I could understand his frustration because he wants to score goals. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're not quite connecting as well enough in the final third.
We got to do better. It's got to be better.
Midfield area, we've seen a number of different players fill that role. Even tonight, having to make kind of a last-minute change. Is there something from the players that are occupying that position that you'd like to see more of or less of, or is there something missing in that position of the field?
I think the hardest thing in football is to create and score goals. I think a lot of teams will come here and pat their defence out because we've been so strong here and try and catch us on the counter attack, and that's what it felt like. Minnesota came to do today, and so them spaces weren't there as much. All we needed was a little bit more quality on an up, back and through, and we would have broke we would have broke their high line. We've done it a number of times, but never connected the final pass. There were more than enough opportunities for us to go and create enough and score goals, but we never showed that quality today.
I tend to agree. It becomes a little bit of a cliche. Oh, the hardest thing to do in football is score goals. But I mean, I do tend to agree.
As you just said, it felt like a step back tonight.
It's concerning because of the quality of goals we conceded today. You know, we've given another couple of big chances away. One at 3-0, where the lads put it wide. You know, we're chasing the game a little bit then, and it becomes a little bit scrappy. But they had one in the first couple of minutes where, you know, Callie's made a really good save, and it just became a real transitional game for us, which is not what we...
That was an insane save, and Kalina's amazing, and that shot never should have got through. That was a poor play by the center backs. I think Tuoloma on that one, although neither played good. But yeah, Callie tried to keep us in it. He always does, for sure.
Really wanted, and our rest defence wasn't as good. They played a player with a little bit of pace up top, and he got in behind and scored a wonderful goal. But he gave our two centre-halves, I thought, too many problems today.
In your opening statement, you had mentioned, you know, I'll take this one, this is on me. What do you think that you could have done better this week in terms of maybe did the guys get prepped up a little bit? Did they feel a little too confident after last week?
I think just knowing that it's a Sunday night game, probably not our usual crowd that we normally would have in here. So roll them up a little bit before, get them as mentally prepared as I could. But that's for me to go and review again and, you know, see what I did and what maybe I could have done better.
I'm torn on this one. I don't feel he's blaming the crowd necessarily, although it treads towards that territory, which I don't like. Whatever, it was Sunday, it was cold. Give me a break, man. If you're not gonna if you're a fan of this club, you're gonna let a chilly evening keep you from going and supporting your team. If you maybe you don't buy tickets if you didn't already have them, but to not use your tickets on a night because of the cold is a yikes moment for me. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a dumbass that likes soccer. But as far as saying it wasn't our usual crowd and maybe the boys didn't get as hyped up because they weren't being pushed as much. But I believe I saw Ashley Mahoney report this as I was falling asleep last night, that lowest attendance ever for a Charlotte FC match. I think lowest official attendance we ever had, I think in the 27,000 range, if I remember right. And all I can say to that is that's still more than 80–90% of any MLS team saw last night. So we still should have, even at our lowest attendance ever, we still should have had the best home field advantage in the league. I don't really understand saying that it was the crowd's slightly smaller size that led to the boys not being fired up. I sense that they were not ready for it from the opening kickoff. I mentioned Geslin sensed it from even before the warm-ups. He said it felt weird. You know, the supporter section, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to try to insult anyone, but go back and listen to our pregame show if you want my thoughts there, in drunken rant form or tipsy rant form anyway, but fuck them.
So Coach, what is the effect of losing both of Nielsen and Nathan in this game?
Well, we never had both of them for the last game. You know,
good answer.
And we conceded a couple of goals in that. They have been, you know, a big reason why we've been keeping clean sheets. I think you know how much I think of both of them players. I think they're excellent players, and you know, I think if they come out of any team, you're gonna feel it. But I thought we did well enough with the players that had replaced them, and you know, that was a team that it was the same team starting lineup as it was last week. But unfortunately, we didn't play well enough today.
I was surprised to see Diani come off. Was there any specific reason for that?
I just thought he looked leggy. I mean, you know, he made 3 runs in the first half from the halfway line into their penalty box. That's not what I want my 6 to do. You know, and I feel that we should have players further up the pitch, higher up the pitch, making them kind of runs. And you know, I just looked at the second goal. You know, and his recovery run wasn't as it normally is. So I just felt it was worth getting Brandt on to give us a bit more legs in there.
And then finally,
I thought that was a pretty decent sub. We were getting absolutely overrun in midfield, completely just in that by the middle of the second half, even before the third goal, and even they were just running all over us when, you know, we were a little more open trying to chase the game. But yeah, they were crushing us. I thought Brant came in and played pretty decently. I thought he held it down a little bit more. Good to get Diani some rest. I thought Diani was good. I thought he played well, but I agree. Like the 6 doesn't need to be, you know, the 6 doesn't need to be outside Kerwin and Yere on the left, you know, being the one to like get the secondary layoff balls and stuff. That wasn't working for us at all. And again, we have a massive fixture crunch coming up in the next 6 weeks. There's tons and tons of matches. So even just that's what I was even thinking as that was happening. It's like, man, it's already time to start like thinking about managing some minutes here for these guys. So you know, it's a total job being a manager. It's not just it goes beyond just what's happening in the moment. You got to think big picture, and Dino does that pretty well, I think.
What do you tell the players? How do you tell them to deal with something like this, especially given the fact that
you tell them you're going to run wind sprints the entire practice on Monday?
Yeah, no, I'm always pretty cool after the game, win, lose or draw. I'm not going to get too high, as I said, and I certainly won't get too low. We'll review the game tomorrow. There's nothing we can change about the game now. It's gone. We lost 3-0, and we have to move on from that and learn lessons from it.
Thanks, Coach.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Last one, Nick.
You got a shorter week because you got a game just on Saturday. Anything different in the training schedule?
No, not really. I mean, we're in tomorrow. Lads who played will have a regen, but the ones who didn't, we've arranged a game as well, so we'll have a game in the morning for them, and then Tuesday off, and then a 3-day lead into New York. Brilliant.
Beautifully done, Dean. As always, my friend, you nailed it again. I think that overall, I heard some excuses that I didn't really like, but it goes in the general tone of Dean kind of defending sort of the even keel state of the club and the players and the thing. I think he defended his players. He didn't put it on the players. There was so many players have come in for criticism already. I'll probably rip into a few of them by accident without even trying later tonight on the recap show. But Dino's not going to do that. He's not the manager shouldn't be doing that. And Dino's a professional manager. He knows exactly what he's doing. What do you say we listen to the captain here? We might as well, since we're here. Ashley Westwood also spoke after the match, and would love to hear what he had to say.
Your general thoughts on the game and what went wrong today?
I thought we started all right, but that was just we can't play like that in this league. You get punished. We've had a reality check today, and it's not been like us this season, so it's really disappointing. But like I said, we'll be in tomorrow. We'll have a look at the game. The gaff report was right, and it's time to fix it next week.
You guys compound the fact.
I love that answer. Great answer. That's kind of what I wish I would have heard Dean say. That term reality check, I think, is a very good one and should have been used by somebody. So I'm glad that Ashley did.
You were coming off such a great win. Last week you scored 3 goals. How concerning is it, that you guys weren't able to build on that? Not only that, but take a big step back, it seems like.
Yeah, it's not concerning. It is a step back. We said that in there. The manager said it's a step back. It's a knock. But like I said, we've been unbelievable here. We've been nearly 14 unbeaten. So we're working hard.
It is 14 unbeaten, Ash. Leagues Cup exists. Leagues Cup exists. Please, people.
In there, but tonight was even that. It's unacceptable. We'll look at that this week and we'll go again next week.
Unacceptable, another great word. Thank you, Captain.
Well, tomorrow we'll come in, we'll review the game, and then Tuesday we move on and we focus on the next game. You can't let it affect you. We're disappointed. Every one of us are disappointed because we know we need to be better. There was too many individually. All 11 of us were made a mistake at some stage, and that can't happen in this league. So we got punished. We'll pick ourselves up and we go again.
I'm loving this. I'm loving everything Ashley's saying here. Very captaincy press conference. He's echoing everything I said. Well, you remember when I said Brecht played just as poorly as everyone else? Yeah, Ashley knows. Ashley knows they all sucked.
Not to make excuses, but Coach Smith was talking about the Sunday night kick and not being a fan of that. Just, not having you be critical of the scheduling, but just in terms of the atmosphere, was it a strange atmosphere?
Be critical of the scheduling. Don't apologize for your questions.
No, the warm-up was intense. We felt good, but like I said, it did feel. The manager said it in there. It did feel flat. So that's down to us as individuals. We can't rely on the fans to. They do their job week in, week out. We need to do ours as well. And tonight was unlike us tonight. That wasn't the Charlotte what we've seen this season. So we'll be sure to put that right next week.
I love it. I absolutely love it. The only thing I wish is that he had told us that he ripped into the guys at halftime and post game. That's what I really would love to be a fly on the wall to hear Ashley Westwood just reaming into these guys when they play so poorly like that. But he said all the right things. Well, that actually kind of pumped me up a little bit, got me back ready to start my day. It's an early morning session here. You might have seen the sun coming up behind me. I went straight home after the Magic I went right to bed. So slept like a baby too, so I actually feel pretty good this morning, but that one was a tough loss, and we hate it. So we got a recap show coming later tonight. Make sure you check that on the feed. You want to hear some crazy talk about some crazy things, go back and listen to our pregame show previous on the feed. And thank you for watching. Thanks for decoding the presser with me as always, and it's for the crown, baby.